Welcome back to Nick and Lenz's Comic Corner Classic Legend on Classics. This is episode number 2911 and Doubleshot number, excuse me, 2805. First up, we're talking about Red Robin Collision, which, in my opinion, collects issues 5 through 12 and Batgirl Volume number 8. And we're discussing the first trade, which is going to be the last thing to discuss for now for Birds of Prey until I discuss new stuff. This trade collects 2 story arcs of Red Robin, both of them with 4 issues apiece. 5 through 8 is the Council Spider story arc. It's basically Tim Drake getting involved with the League of Assassins to the point where he turns on them. So Roz is like, "Oh, I'm going to destroy your legacy by killing a bunch of people that you were associated with." So his hit list comprises of, so he goes to Gotham City with, by the way, Tam Fox, who's in this book. She is written to be sort of Tim's love interest in the book. Yes, and also the book has a crossover with the Batgirl book, what continues over this book too, where Stephanie is now a Batgirl now. This, of course, is set not long after she first took on the costume, and basically Tim tells her he still doesn't trust her in the costume, even though she's Batgirl now. So he's willing to work with her, and also, of course, he has a conversation with Dick Grayson, which basically has them work together. Now, so of course, with Roscoe City, his targets are, get this might surprise you. So, Vicky Vale's in this book, along with Julia Madison. I'll explain her in a minute. We also have Jim Gordon. I think Alfred is a target. Lucius Fox. Anybody associated with Batman. And get this, we have Roz interacting with Thomas Elliot, which of course is a loose connection to Streets of Gotham. If you're not familiar with this title, I have reviewed it already, but here's an explanation. In that book, Thomas Elliot surgically alters his face to look like Bruce Wayne. And basically Dick is using him to keep the perception that Bruce Wayne is alive, despite the fact he's actually trying to steal Bruce Wayne's money. Yeah, and apparently Roz find out he's actually Thomas Elliot. Like, here's the thing. How the heck he found this out is never explained. It just, points out, "Hello, Mr. Elliot. Can we talk?" Despite the fact you're basically having the face of the man who my daughter loves, and also the man who's having the father of my only grandchild. Because basically this is pre-Flashpoint, because post-Flashpoint he actually has 2 grandchildren. Because Damian's got a cousin. Yep. So, yeah, he sends the assassins to go after them. So they bring in the Teen Titans in this book, which I found that page interesting. At one point he runs to Connor. Yes, Connor. Yes, Superboy's in the book, which is awesome. They have a reunion together. Eventually they're the Batman. So Alfred is saved by Batman and Robin. Man-Bat saves Julia Madison. Is like, "Yo, Red Robin, the Madison girl is perfectly fine." Okay, so Julia Madison, those of you not familiar with this character, she was a character from pre-Crisis. She was a character who was very rarely featured at the Golden Age. Who she is that she was technically the first girl that Bruce Wayne ever dated in the comics. She was also his fiancée. They broke up because she couldn't keep up with his Playboy lifestyle. That was the only reason why they broke up. And Vicky Vale was also one target too in here with Lucius. And, well, then everybody's saved. And for some reason, Damian refers to the Teen Titans as, "Oh, your Titans riffraff is upstairs." Yes, the first Teen Titans is riffraff. The same team he would later lead a year later. Well, become a member anyways. But these, and of course the thing ends, issue 12 ends, where the first issue began. With him back at Wayne Manor. And basically saying once again, and he has proof of this, that Bruce Wayne is alive. Which planted seeds for the Return of Bruce Wayne storyline. I gotta admit, these 8 issues are fantastic. I think Chris Yost and the artist of the book, who is Roman Bosch, basically doesn't act. By the way, also there's another ending in this book I found quite interesting, where Raz is talking to one of his daughters. It's not Talia, where he's like, he needs to produce me an heir. And who's he talking to? Nyssa. Yes. And also, Raz refers to Tim in this book as detective. Which, of course, Tim, it's not stated here, but Tim is like, that is a term you refer to Batman with, not Tim. I do find kind of weird that Raz wants him to basically just sleep one of his daughters to basically give him an heir, despite the fact he has an heir. His name is Damien. I find that kind of weird. Like, okay, so why is a woman who is much older than Tim, like really much older, a woman who's going to be his grandmother, and yet Raz wants her to bang Tim Drake? Yes, he has an obsession with that for some reason in this book. By the way, never mentioned outside of this book about Nyssa's basically obsession with him. So Raz wants Tim to sleep with not only his daughter, a woman who also happens to be Damien's aunt. Does anybody find this weird? Yeah. But I give the basic book a 9 out of 10. I found it really good. Next up we have is The Birds of Prey, which of course we have Gail Simone return to the book. Yep, Gail Simone's back to the book for the first time since issue 108 of the previous line of the book. Now we're here discussing the opening 6 issues. Excuse me, yes. Now, here's kind of the thing with these issues, but with these also the last 6 issues discussed for this book. Well, and to discuss the most recent form of the book. So this book is called, let's get to it here. It is called, where is it here? Did I take it off here? Oh, here it is. It's called End Run. Basically, Barbara's put back together the Birds of Prey. She's got Black Canary here, who's back in the team since it's in issue 100. They even had Hawk and Dove to the team, which I found that to be an interesting concept, which makes Hawk basically the first male member, basically male member to join the team, which I find that to be interesting. And they also brought in Lady Blackhawk. And we also have a brand new character here, a character by the name of the White Canary. Who this person is never explained in the book. Because once this book wraps up, she's never seen again after this. No, seriously, she's never seen again. And it's kind of a weird story this one is. Where, like, the whole thing is about retrieving sin. Well, of course, Lady Shiva's book too, but the whole thing is about retrieving sin. At one point, she puts on a white outfit for some reason. Her arm is broken. And the way Gail writes Black Canary, it's like, oh, it's over, go. It's like, what are you doing, Gail, with Black Canary? I find this kind of weird. Yeah, we have Ed Baines basically the artwork, and by the way, on the cover it's a Brightest Day tie-in, but this book has nothing to do with Brightest Day at all. No, seriously, these opening 6 issues have freaking nothing to do with Brightest Day. The second story has a lot more to do with that than this. Yeah, and also finally got this at the police department, which it's a very confusing story arc. And I'm like, really, Gail? This is how you're going to start the book off with this? Yes. And by the way, she brings back Savant and Crody, which, that's interesting. Yes. And I guess she figured, oh, why not bring him back? Yeah, which is probably the first Future's book since the end of her run of the book. Yeah, as for why they're brought back, I have no freaking idea. Yeah, he's brought back here. He last appeared in Gail Simone's last issue for the book, was issue 108. As for Crotty, well, he's brought back in the book to be an associate of his, and his last appearance in this book was it Gail Saw's last issue? Yes, it was. And he's in this book as a regular supporting character. Yes, and some of the Penguins working with them. Yes. Oh, and the person taking back is Cindy. And yeah. And the whole end run, I think that's the first 4 issues. The last 2 issues basically involve appearance by Lady Shiva. Yeah, and then White Canary, as soon as the story wraps up, never seen again. Yeah, so the whole thing of rescuing her, and as for Sin herself, well, after issue 6, she did pop up for the relaunch of this book. Actually, no, she never appeared ever again. Yeah, by issue 9, she completely disappeared from the books. Yep. Not much really much to say about these issues. They're a bit confusing. You're like, why in the world is Gail writing these characters this way for? It's kind of weird, but it gets better when the book goes on. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, and the whole thing with the Brightest Day stuff. That does not come a roll until like issue 7. Yeah. It is like played to a little bit later on. Which the whole thing with that is, oh, Hawk is told to catch Captain Boomerang's boomerang. And he's also very protective of Dove in this book. Yes. Seriously. But final thoughts on this Flying Birds of Prey, because here's kind of the weird thing. I actually looked this up. I surprised myself with this. So it turns out I have reviewed the second trade of this one, believe it or not, and it's called Death of Oracle. And if you're curious, how long did I review this? 10 years ago. Yes, I reviewed this book 10 years ago. I enjoyed those issues. These issues are just, what in the world is Gail thinking with these issues? It was a bit confusing. Yep. Also, there's a bunch of hallucinations going on here too, which I'm like, yeah. Also, why is Shiva here? Yeah, Shiva being involved in these issues is odd to say the least. It's like, what's the point of her being here? Yeah. By the way, this will be her final appearance in this book. And if you're curious, does she appear after this book? Yes, she does. Pretty much after this issue, I don't think she ever appeared again pre-Flashpoint. Nope. And I don't think anybody saw her again until, believe it or not, the company went after the relaunch of 2011. Yeah. I mean, here, get this. They brought it back in the pages of Nightwing. Yes. Kyle Higgins brought back this character in issue 0. Yes. At one point, she was part of the Batman Outsiders. I brought this joke of a lot of people, where her daughter Cassie Kane is telling Duke this. He says to her, she says to him, "You think my mom is hot?" He responds with, "Everybody thinks your mom is hot," and she smiles at that because, yeah, she agrees. Everyone thinks she's hot because she is. So was her daughter. Yep, which shows the fact that Cassie Kane had good genes. Yes, definitely. But that's it for Birds of Prey. Because with this, I'm done reading Birds of Prey for now until I talk about the current book. What's replacing Birds of Prey? Steel. Yes, though I'm also going to do Joker as well. Yeah, the plan is I'm going to do Steel Volume 1, and then do Joker, because that's an ongoing series for Batman. With this also, there's not many Batman spin-off books left to go that are ongoing. That are set in the prime timeline. Yeah. And here's something also to point out with this line. Gail Simone didn't write the whole thing of this thing. No, she didn't. The last three issues are done by somebody completely different. Yes, as for why she left, it's a complete mystery. Yes, because by issue 13, she is off the book. Well, I thought she was. But I know she didn't finish doing the book. No. Believe it or not, for some reason, the last two are still by Mark Andrego. Yes. For some strange reason, he does. With Billy Tucci in the artwork. Yes. I don't know exactly the reason why that DC did this for, where they just took Gail Simone off the book. Where you think, oh, maybe she took off because she did Batgirl. Well, she was going to do Batgirl. That's possible, but that's not the book she did for New 52. She also did the Movement, and she also did the Firestorm book for New 52. The Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Men. Yes, she worked on that too. She worked on 2 books to start. So I'm thinking she was taking out this book to work on Firestorm and Batgirl. Yep. That's my guess anyways. And Drago probably was brought in to do the last couple issues to kind of wrap up this run. And the book got relaunched with New 52 anyways, first with Dwayne Swarzinski, and then it was Christy Marks. And the book went away for several years. It was brought back by the Bensons, which was really good, by the way. I love that book. And then we got the Jim Palmer and Amanda Connor one-shot for Birds of Prey, where future Harley Quinn's in the group. And then there's the current book by Kelly Thompson. But I'll talk about that in the future. But right now, down with Birds of Prey. Yep. So, I give these opening story here, the first trade here, a 8 out of 10. Okay? So yeah, that's a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and join in the like button. So tomorrow, as far as I can ever for tomorrow, I have Chain Soldier. I'll finish review with that one. One Piece, My Hero Academia, and Fairy Tail. Yeah. So I'll see you tomorrow.